In this video, we are going to begin constructing some walls. The process is similar to what we did with this base here. I'm going to go to the rectangle tool and I'm just going to arbitrarily pick a point. Now, the wall needs to be 12 inches wide, but it can be whatever length you'd like to make it, and the height needs to be at minimum 8 feet, but it could be higher. So I'm going to go ahead and make this rectangle 24 feet, comma, oops, let me repeat that. 24 feet, 12 inches, or I could put 1 foot. And all right, so you gotta kind of get used to the scale of this thing. If this is 200 feet, 24 is a relatively small piece of that. Okay, so there we go. We have this rectangle built, and same way that we extruded or we use the push-pull tool to create some depth for the base, we will do the same thing for this part. So I'm going to make a window around everything. I'm going to use the press-pull tool, click a point, and give it a height. Now I'm just going to tell it 8 feet. You could make yours 8 feet, or you could go higher if you'd like. Totally up to you. Right, so also same process for grouping it. I'm going to make a window around the whole set of surfaces, right click, make a group, and then when we go to the entity information here, or entity info, we're going to put it on the wall layer. Now this one, I'm not going to lock it because I may want to move this wall around once I get all the walls in place. Okay, so you're going to repeat that step for 4 more walls, and they can be the same length, same height. They can be longer, shorter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be 24 feet. You could make yours much longer, much shorter. It's entirely up to you. So I'll go ahead and construct 4 additional walls. So now I have a series of walls. I have 5 of them, and I can click on them, and I'll see that they're all on this, they're all tagged on the wall. Okay. Now, in terms of like where they're located on here, you can move them around. This is the move tool right here. So you can kind of shift them. Maybe you have some idea about how you want them to be oriented to one another. So here I am sliding them along this axis here. I can move them along this axis. I probably don't want to move them up because then they'll be floating, but you'll be able to see that when we change the view type. So other things that you may want to do, say rotate a wall. So you can click on a wall and rotate it into a different direction. Anyway, there's a number of ways of manipulating them to get them to be where you want them to be. If you would like to see the view in a way other than this perspective that we have, if I go to view, you're going to see some options for establishing some of the visual effects. You can change it. Right now it's under the camera, it's set to perspective. You could change it to a parallel view, so it'll give you a slightly different way of looking at the planes. You can also go to camera, standard views, and let's say you just want to see what they would look like from the top view. Okay, so here I had done that rotation, and obviously I didn't rotate it very well. So to correct that, I can click on the wall here and sort of set the angle to 90 degrees. And I could rotate it again if I wanted to rotate it like actually to 90 degrees from its current orientation. So I'm going to click on the wall and I'm going to do the rotation again. And this time I will set it to be parallel to the other walls. And I'll do the same thing with this one here. You can orient your walls however you would like. Going to the rotation. So, and then again, if I want to move them, I can click on these walls and use the move tool and place them. So for my arrangement, I am going to leave them in this kind of parallel configuration. I think I'd like to make some of them a little bit longer. So I am going to go back to camera and I'm going to set the view to an ISO view. This is here. Looks like when I moved them, I accidentally sunk them into the pavilion base. So I'm going to go to camera view, standard view, front, and see the walls down here. And I'm going to move them back, move, and I'm going to type in 8 feet. I'm set back on top of the platform. Move. Then I'll go back to the view, the camera, standard views, ISO, and now they're all sitting on top of the platform. If you'd like to change the length or the height of one of the planes, what you need to do is click on that plane, explode it, and then use the press pull tool, and you can extend it by a defined length, like 12 feet or so, or you can just kind of click on the screen. And if you do this, if you make this change, you can see when I hover over it, it's now a set of surfaces, so I would have to go back, group them, and put them on the wall entity. So I'm going to go back to camera, standard views, top, and it'll be a little easier to select them there. I'll make a window here, right click, make a group, and then retag it as a wall. Okay, so now I have these 5 walls, and I'm going to continue to make a few changes to them before I settle on the final arrangement. So I decided with my arrangement of walls that I was going to make them all parallel, and so that like if a person had to walk through here, they would have to kind of pass around all of the walls. So this is going to be my final layout for the walls, and what I'll do next is move on to the roof. So one thing you want to do before you kind of finalize this is make sure when you go to one of the side views or front view, right view, that all the walls are sitting on top of the platform. So right now I'm in the front view. I can go to the left view and I should see all these walls, the ends of the walls. So going back to standard views, ISO, some 3D outcome. And just keep in mind that you can make changes to this configuration kind of as we proceed through the series of exercises with the pavilion.